Now available in paperback and e-readers. John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes, 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. There's a viral video of a guy who got real emotional because he got stood up on a date. I'm going to let you guys take a look at this footage before I go into my commentary.
So I just left a restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. You know, I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that, I guess, is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like, alien dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love, to be kind to one another. Like, what? Ladies, tell me, what did I do wrong?
Now, over the course of this video that went viral, this older man was sitting in a restaurant lamenting the fact that the woman he had arranged a date with had stood him up. And as he was sitting in that restaurant lamenting the fact that the woman he wanted to go out on a date with had not shown up, he decided to turn on the camera of his smartphone, and he decided to go out here and rant into his camera, venting all of his frustrations about the world of dating. Now, when this man went out here and participated in this behavior, he was looking to create a covert contract with everyone on social media in the efforts to gain sympathy from all of those people on social media. However, when I look at that viral video, I basically see textbook beta male behavior that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and I also see textbook simp behavior like I talk about in my book, Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And this simp basically shows me that he was never raised with a father, and even worse, in his older age, never learned any sort of male life skills or male survival skills as related to the world of courtship and relationships, because his inexperience basically shows to me by the way he was basically approaching this entire date. Because this dude, when he was out here, he showed me one major mistake that he made from minute one, and that was investing all of his feelings into a woman who he had only known for 2 weeks. Now, most guys know out here you never invest any emotion into a woman, because if you invest emotions into a woman, you are basically coming from a position of weakness. And if you come from a position of weakness, a woman will never respect you, and you need respect to be the foundation of any relationship. Unfortunately, guys who were raised by single mothers and beta males never really understand the concept of respect, and because they don't understand the concept of respect, they oftentimes invest all of their feelings into a woman just when she's paying attention to her. Now, this is a major tactical error, because oftentimes women, when they're out here and they pay attention to a guy, they're oftentimes looking to just feel a guy out to see what type of man he is, And what they do in that first meeting, and they get that first impression of you, is they want to get a sense of who you are. And if you come across as too emotional, what that woman is going to do is sense your weakness. And when she senses your weakness, she's basically going to be game over in her mind. Yeah, she'll go along to get along, and again, just to feel you out and see how far she can go with you. Some of them may even give you their phone numbers and may even talk to you on the phone. But after a while, what they will do is just feel a guy out and then say, look, I'm not really feeling this dude. And they will just cut off all connections with you. And that's possibly what happened here with this dude. What happened here is that the woman he was going after basically just felt all of the feminine energy he was radiating, felt the weakness in his body language, because I could read that in just that 1 minute video I was watching. I mean, in that 1 minute video I was watching, this dude basically radiated all sorts of feminine energy and all sorts of weakness. And what he looked to do was overcompensate by trying to make a so-called good first impression by going on this date dressed up, taking her to a nice restaurant, and coming out with some roses, not understanding he had basically failed from the initial meeting, because you only get one chance at a first impression. And if you come out looking weak from that first impression, what she's going to do is be turned off. And again, she'll feel you out. She'll go out here and go through the motions with you, but she will not be emotionally available to you because she's already sensed your weakness, and she sensed all of your eagerness and your thirst. And that's basically what happened to this dude, because this dude really could not read a woman. And that's one of the big traits that beta males have, because beta males, again, they are looking to submit to a woman instead of coming out looking like a leader. And that was shown to me with this dude as related to his behavior. I mean, when I look at his behavior, he's sitting there saying, oh, I talked to this woman for 2 weeks, and I guarantee you this guy possibly was one of these guys who was just possibly in her text messages or making calls every day, thinking, oh, I'm getting in with this woman. But in actuality, all he was doing was turning her off, because when you go out here being a bugaboo, just constantly calling and talking to a woman, what you're doing is turning her off, because you're making her the center of your world instead of going out here and living your life. I mean, most dudes, what they do is they may call once or text once, and if they get a response, they may set something up. And once they set something up, again, they just go on about their business. And when they go on about their business, what they're doing is getting on with their life. And as they're getting on with their life, they're focusing on more important goals, because she's not the center of the world. No, what's the center of their world is the Most High God. And then after that is the things that they got to focus on, like at their jobs or their business. They ain't got really that. A woman is like not really that much of a priority. If you see her, you see her. But if not, you cool and you go on about your business. But this dude, I believe, again, because these guys invest their feelings into women, this guy basically, as I see it, was investing all of his feelings, looking forward to this date. Again, building up his world around this woman who wasn't even possibly thinking about him, because like I talk about in Stop Simping, a lot of women get lots of offers all the time. So a guy like him, she's getting all sorts of offers. She's not really investing anything emotionally in this dude, and she'll sometimes even just go on a date just to see what she can get out of a dude. And sometimes she'll arrange that date so that she can see what she can get. But if there's a better offer for her, she'll go out here and go with that offer. So that's why most guys don't go out here and invest all their feelings in women. No, what we do is go out here, and if it happens, it happens. If not, cool. And this guy basically, again, shows me that he basically has an adolescent mindset as related to courtships and relationships, because He's thinking like a 14-year-old, and his development is completely arrested because a 14-year-old will invest their feelings into a girl like that. But a grown man that's possibly older like this dude, he should have learned better. But sadly, this dude didn't learn anything, and that's why he was pouring out his emotions as related to being stood up by this woman, whereas a seasoned man who knew how to navigate through his emotions, what he would do is just sit there and chill, and he would chill because he understands that, yeah, this chick didn't show up, but I'm not going to wind up losing face over it because I'm not really invested that much into this woman, and I'm not really fazed by it, and that's going to radiate strong confidence and masculine energy to all the other ladies in that room. When they see that man sitting there by himself just chilling out, what they're going to do is say, hey, that guy is really interesting. He's out here sitting here enjoying the food at the restaurant. I may ask him how he thinks of the food here. I may even try to talk to him for a minute. But this guy, he didn't know how to go out here and make things work for him. No, because he was one of these beta males who was just has tunnel vision. What he thought was, oh, this woman didn't show up, so I'm feeling bad because she didn't show up. But most other guys out here who know how to be men, we know how to turn that whole situation around and make that situation work for us. Because what we'll do, again, when she doesn't show up, is just say, you're charged to the game, and I'm just going to sit back here and chill and just enjoy this restaurant. I'm going to go order up some of these appetizers, going to order up the main course, going to go order up a dessert, and sit back and chill and enjoy my evening, because she's not the main focus of my evening, and I have nothing really invested in her at all. No, if I'm going out here, I'm going out to enjoy this restaurant for myself. And if she's here, that's cool. But if she's not, then that's okay. And if I run into other people at the restaurant, then I'm just going to have a good time for myself. That's what a guy will go out here and do. But a simp, because he invests all of his emotions into women, what he does is start getting upset. And then he starts going out here looking to pour his feelings into his smartphone, hoping to create another covert contract where he hopes to go out here and get the sympathy of the public as related to him being a so-called good man who can't find a woman to have a relationship, even though there are 4 women for every 1 man in the world, and there are a whole bunch of women in that restaurant, a whole bunch of women who are basically watching this dude and shaking their head at about how pathetic this dude was, because when they saw him possibly walking in the room, many of them were shaking their head, because this dude, he's coming to this restaurant, he's just got his little roses, and he's trying to do the old-fashioned good guy routine, and that just shows me again how just inexperienced this guy is. You come into a restaurant with a bunch of roses to impress a woman, and again, she was never impressed with you from the first 5 seconds of looking at you, because when she probably, again, looked at this guy in the first 5 seconds, she was possibly looking at this dude and saying, look, this is a guy I could possibly get for an easy meal and an easy couple of drinks. This guy was basically set up from minute 1, but he could not really, again, because he's a simp, he cannot really read women, and because he can't read women, that's why he basically got stood up and played on this date. Now, this dude sat there and talked about, oh, how he wanted to be a father and a husband. I mean, I looked at that and I wanted to laugh at it because it was just so pathetic. I mean, dude, you just met this woman 2 weeks ago, and here you are talking about marriage and family and all this stuff. I mean, that you don't even know this person, because in 2 weeks you don't even know anybody. But it just, again, shows me that as an older man, he really does not have that life experience that other men have. He just doesn't have an understanding of how things work, and he's just sitting up here building a world around this woman. And A dude is not supposed to be building a world around a woman. A woman oftentimes builds worlds around men because they look for a man to lead. But when I look at this guy, he's not looking like a leader. No, he's looking like a pathetic puppy dog looking to follow behind women, not understanding that women are really cold out here, and they will drop you in a heartbeat if they see some weakness. This is something that I talked about in one of my books, John Haynes, 1987, where the 13-year-old John Haynes learns hard lessons about love and relationships. And sadly, this guy never learned those hard lessons in adolescence, and in his older age, he shows how emotionally immature he is, because he's sitting up here whining about a woman standing him up when most men would take a stand and just say, okay, you charge to the game, and I'm going to delete your number, and now I'm going to order these appetizers. I'm going to have me one of these appetizers, one of these pizzas or whatever they have for appetizer. Get me a nice little steak or some of the chicken. Get me a nice little molten lava cake. And as I'm enjoying this food and just having a good time by myself, I'm going to be just having some fun, because going to a restaurant is about an experience and experiencing the food, not looking to go out here and try to impress some chick, because these chicks, again, they get offers like this from dudes every day. And if she was out here talking to you, she's possibly talking to somebody else. And that's what flies over the heads of dudes like this. And what they look to do is talk about, oh, I'm the good man. She's doing me dirty, looking to get sympathy. But there's nobody going to be sympathetic to a dude like this. And guys aren't going to be sympathetic to a dude like this, because when you act like emotional like this, you're looking real weak to both men and women. And when you look weak like this to both men and women, both men and women lose respect for you. And they lose respect for you because you are sitting there thinking coming from a position of weakness will get you any sort of attention, not understanding not all attention is good attention. And sitting here crying and complaining about the one who got away at an older age shows me that this man has grown old, but he hasn't grown up. And his whole approach to women basically shows me why he's gonna be single for the rest of his life, because women don't want to see weakness in a man. What they want to see is strength. And this guy really wasn't showing any sort of strength from minute one, because when I look at the way he was acting, I know he was acting real goofy when he possibly first met this woman. He was possibly acting real goofy as he was talking to her. And when he possibly got on the phone with her, he was acting even more goofy. And this is something you're supposed to work out when you're 13, 14, and 15, maybe 16 years old. You're supposed to work out all that awkwardness and all that goofiness back then, because if you come at that when you get older, what's going to happen is you're going to wind up getting at the least like this stood up, or even worse, what will happen is a chick will go out here and play you and get the free dinners, the free drinks, possibly get her rent paid, possibly get her car paid for. And while this guy thinks he's in a real relationship because she's possibly paying him attention and sometimes occasionally dropping the skid mark Victoria's Secret thong and allow him to get an occasional taste of the atomic waste, this guy is going out here swooning in love over this woman. But in actuality, she has not invested a single emotion in this dude at all. No, she has not really invested a single thing in this dude. And he's sitting up here pouring all of his heart and his feelings into this woman, thinking, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do, because he's watched all of these cornball soap operas, these rom-coms, and possibly is even reading these romance novels. This dude has all of these just delusions about romance and thinking, oh, I'm going to have these fabulous romance with this woman, because that's what he was planning when he possibly planned that magical evening with his little roses and his nice outfit and sitting al fresco. He was looking to make a moment with this woman, not understanding this woman gets all sorts of offers all the time, and she basically blew him off because she got a better deal from a dude she actually had feelings for. This is another thing that the simp doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that you are basically a dude that she has as part of her rotation, because if she's not married, she's basically got other guys she's entertaining. And if you're out here, she may be talking to you for a minute, but she's definitely talking to other dudes as well. So you may be sitting up there thinking, oh, she liked me, she's paying attention to me. That's why guys don't invest their emotions into women. The reason why we don't invest emotions into women is because we already know you're already talking to 2-3 other dudes. And if you're talking to 2-3 other dudes, you possibly are thinking about putting me on a rotation to be a trick. And that's why smart guys don't go out here and spend all that money to go to a restaurant like this dude did. No, what we'll do is take them to a Starbucks or take them for a walk, and ain't spending that much money or spending no money at all. Because if she's really into you, what she'll be doing is spending her money to come to you, and she'll be spending her time to make time for you. And again, if a woman is really interested, she'll be asking first and making you a priority. And this guy's whole situation shows me that he never was a priority. He was probably the first to approach, the first to ask, and thought, oh, she's paying attention to me, so I'm going somewhere. But clearly, this woman was going through the motions with him because, again, like I said before, they feel you out to find out what you're like. And again, if they feel like there's nothing there as related to their emotions, they'll eventually just say, okay, I'm just going to blow this dude off. And that's what happened here. And this guy basically blew all of his chances at possibly finding somebody else, because he's basically sent the message to the world with that viral video that he's a weak man, he's a pathetic man, and he's not somebody with any sort of discipline and resolve. Because when women see a dude getting emotional like this, they see him as weak, they see him as unable to lead, unable to protect, unable to stand up like a man. And again, because they see that weakness in that video, like I saw in that feminine energy, they don't see him as anybody they need to respect or regard. When women look at this guy, they're not seeing a guy that they respect or regard. No, they see a guy who basically is a tool, and they see a tool that can basically be used by just gassing him up, telling him what he wants to hear, and then taking him for a ride, and then leaving him at the side of the road for the next female predator to make soup out of the bones. Now, this guy, again, he's sitting there talking about, oh, there's no good women out there. Right. No, you just don't radiate the right masculine energy or the masculine presence that would make you appear to be attractive. Excuse me for burping before. But this guy, again, he radiates nothing at all that would make you think, oh, this guy is confident, this guy is strong. Because a guy who's confident and strong, he's not going to be on no smartphone venting his feelings like a female. No, he's going to understand that the world of courtship and relationships is a rough and hard place. He's going to understand that a lot of women out here are cold, and he's going to understand that that's just par for the course as related to the world of courtship and relationships. And he's just going to be like, okay, she didn't show up, I charge her to the game, I delete her number, and I forget she even exists. And then I'm going to go out here and order a nice dinner for myself. And then I'm going to go out here and go back to my house and chill out some more. Because, again, this was not something important to him until this woman shows him that she's serious. No, a first date is just basically you just trying to see what this person is like. And if this person is showing me things about her character that are off, I'm counting my blessings that I did not get further involved with this person. And that's the thing that this guy really isn't really understanding. This whole thing with courtship is about finding out if you're compatible with a person. And if a person stands you up, they basically show you that they're not interested, and that leaves you an opportunity to be open to find somebody else. So this guy is not really looking at things in the right perspective, because again, beta males invest all of their feelings into women, and because they invest all their feelings into women and build worlds around them, their whole world falls apart when that person doesn't show up, or that person does say no. But when the whole thing is, when they don't show up and they say no, then I'm happy, because again, I understand that it takes a lot of no to get to yes, and sometimes you can dodge a bullet as related to some women. So if she says no, then it's cool. If she says yes, then it's cool. But the whole thing is, with the beta male, he invests all of his emotions into women, and he wants everything to go smooth, but nothing goes smooth in life with people. No, you're dealing with another person with different thoughts, different opinions, different views, different values, and you have to accept, okay, this person is not right for me, and if they could blow me off like this, they don't respect me, and if there's no respect, there's no foundation for a relationship. That's what this guy never really learned, and I believe because he had a sheltered adolescence, because in order for a guy to be this dysfunctional, you have to be really sheltered and really never had experience with women, or even have female relationships with your siblings, like your sister or other women. I mean, this guy, I'm looking at the way he's acting, and he really looks like, again, a really sheltered and coddled guy who doesn't understand how things work. Because, again, for a guy to have gray in his beard and be older like this and act all emotional like this, getting upset because, oh, things didn't work out as related to one woman, and then talking about how bad things are. No, it's never been better for men out here as related to courtship. Again, any smart guy understands there's 4 women for every one man, and if you have yourself together and you get your confidence up, you will be able to, women will be all over out here, because they're always checking for dudes, and the whole thing is, you'll be able to pick up on all the signals and be able to read all of those women, and be able to read a woman who basically understand whether she's into you or not. But this guy, again, doesn't have any sort of that training, any sort of male life skills, doesn't know how to be a man, and that's why he's acting like a man in crisis. And really, this dude needs to go out here and pick up many of my men's issues books, like Stop Simping, and like Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, and The Man Crisis, because it's clear to me that this dude is basically on the road to becoming a man in crisis if he doesn't get his stuff together. Now, if you want to learn how to break out of the dysfunctional paradigm presented by this dude in this viral video, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to learn what leads to many of these men like this to become men in crisis, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com as well. And if you want to learn how the painful lessons about life and teenage love, you can pick up my book, John Haynes, 1987, and learn why guys learn these hard lessons in adolescence so they don't grow up to become men in crisis. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.